Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Croixleur Sigma, which is a new kind of 3D hack and slash game out on Steam today. I know the original game has been out for a while, I believe on Desera and maybe some other markets as well, but this is for the Steam release. As you can see, this is by Souvenir, and I believe it's published by New Media. As for the price, I'm not sure if they are giving it a little bit more of a premium price for the upgraded version. I know it was $5 on Desera for the original, so I would not be surprised to see this go for $5 or $10, but I will of course have the link in the description to where you can purchase the game, so you should just follow that link if you are curious. So I'm going to jump in here, and I will say right off the bat, all of the voices are in Japanese. So if that's something that bothers you, just something to keep in mind. There aren't any voice acting options, so it is Japanese voices all the way through. And then here's a breakdown of the modes. So story mode is normal story mode, and I will mostly play with that. Arcade mode is story mode without the cutscenes, and maybe actually I'll play with that instead because I don't necessarily want to go into the story in this video. Score attack, as you can see, is you get 3 minutes and you're battling for the highest score, which I believe there will be leaderboards for. Survival mode is just how long you can survive. Challenge mode is kind of where I feel the game shines, and I will show off a bit of that. And then bonus mode is an epilogue to the story mode. So I'm going to jump into arcade mode, and the reason I'm not going to do the actual story mode part is that I found the story to be a little, I don't know, just not great, I guess. This will honestly be exactly the same thing as the story, except no cutscenes. And the cutscenes are really just like dialogue anyways, but I will leave the story for you to check out if you would like to on your own. Honestly, so you see that 15-minute timer? That is like the max length of the story, which is kind of weird. I feel like the game is much more focused on kind of like score attack sort of stuff rather than and I'm actually okay, I'm gonna go to the title, sorry, just so that I can do options. I had turned some things down really low and I wasn't sure quite how low I wanted stuff, but this should be a little better, because we do want to hear some stuff, of course. Just as long as you can still hear me. And that is the goal here. Okay, so quick overview. We've got jump, of course, and we can do aerial attacks. We have a 3-move combo, and that's basically the combo. And then we have a dash, so we can like dash in between and kind of continue combos, stuff like that. And then we've got a special move, which I will show off later, but not now because you get a limited use of them. Those are the 3 symbols you see at the bottom. So what I have found is that you kind of want to dash a lot. Of course, you have to keep in mind with dashing that you do have an MP meter, which is below your HP meter down in the bottom left. Dashing takes MP, so you don't want to do it too much, too often, otherwise of course you will run out. So that is kind of what's going on there. As you can see, we do have some aerial enemies, and right now enemies start off very easy as we go through the levels. So each level has roughly 5 stages, although you can skip some, as we will also see shortly, and then they end with a boss. So we are going to jump straight to the 4th level. I'm assuming the other portal would have taken us to the 3rd. The first time that you go through the tower, you just see question marks for everything, so you just have to kind of guesstimate which one you want to try. And of course, getting the shortcuts would go faster. And I should mention that I am playing on easy, because it gets pretty tough pretty fast if you play on normal. But those are the 2 difficulty options. And then this is how we end each section of levels, with kind of a boss battle here. Again, of course, the first one's really easy, last one is really tough. The chain system is interesting. The chain system actually goes off the coins we pick up rather than like getting hits. And it works as you would expect, where if you do get hit, your chain is broken. But yeah, that's how that works. And otherwise, I mean, that is basically the gameplay in a nutshell. I feel like story-wise, it's a little lacking. Like I said, I'm not really all that interested in the story that's there. And I feel like story mode maybe wasn't even the main focus, because it's literally 15 minutes long. I've played for maybe an hour, and I've gone through the story mode with the first character twice, and the story mode with the second character once. So it's really not long at all. And I've done a little bit of extra stuff as well. So, you know, as far as the story mode, I would not expect to get like a ton of time out of it. I think where the game is really going to shine is like arcade mode, score attack, survival, and challenge mode, because people are going to want to kind of perfect this combat system and make the leaderboards. So that being said, you know, like I said, I don't really enjoy the story, but I do really enjoy the combat. It's simple enough that you can get into it right away without practicing much, and you can just kind of jump right in and be okay from the start. But it's also got some complexities with like move canceling and stuff that I'm bad at. I haven't really figured out any kind of move canceling strategy and stuff like that. But it's there, and each time I play, I've found that I've gotten a little better, and I kind of figure out a little bit more of how to do this kind of fast and fluid. So, you know, I feel like the combat system itself has a ton of depth to it, and that's, you know, that's a nice thing to see here. You know, I am going to spend probably some more time. That was just an achievement that popped up. Those are, of course, tied to the Steam achievements, but it does have a nice tracker right in the game. I guess this would be a good opportunity. So that's the other move. And if I haven't mentioned, I am playing with the Xbox 360 controller. Plays great, feels fine. And it, you know, you're going to notice as we go through this, really my only complaint with the game is the story, actually. And, you know, it may be for some people, it's just not for me. I think probably the hardest thing about it is that they tried to get the story that has like kind of a lot of depth and stuff into a 15-minute story sequence, and that comes off as kind of, I guess, not that well executed. But the other aspects of the game are very good. I guess the only other thing maybe that I don't like is, from like a sound design perspective, this has the same issues that a lot of games like this have, where because our character is making noise while fighting, we kind of hear the same few like grunts and sayings over and over again. And that gets a little irritating pretty fast. So I have actually ended up turning the voice volume, as you can hear, pretty low, just because it's really repetitive. And, you know, a little bit annoying sometimes, I guess. But, the rest of it, like the, picking up the coins and slashing the sword both have, kind of a nice sound to them. You know, and there's definitely, like, I don't know, picking up the coins gets kind of addicting because of the sound, I guess. It almost sounds like you're winning, like a slot machine or something, which is nice. It's a good little touch. And then I think where part of where the game really shines is actually the visual effect. I think it all looks really nice. It's animated pretty well. And, you know, I think like the biggest thing about it is that it's flashy. It's, you know, it's definitely always pulling my attention in, because there's always something crazy going on screen. And, you know, all the little visual hints and stuff, all the little slashes and stuff from fighting all look really well. They're interesting to look at. This is actually how the story plays out, of course, I should say, and it's the reason that I had to play with the first girl twice, is that if you don't get here fast enough, then you actually don't meet the other girl on this level, and that means that you can't get the real ending of the story. So what I had to do is I had to switch to easy so that I could beat it fast enough. But of course, I think that's kind of the design of the game, is that you should probably have to play on easy unless you're pretty experienced with games like this already, which I'm not that experienced with them. I've never been all that great at kind of hack and slash games like this. But yes, so then that opens up the full story, as well as allowing you to play as the character that I am playing as now. And I do like that it gives you the time difference between your best time and however you're doing now. It's kind of interesting to see. So like that last level, I lost a ton of time. Like 30 seconds worth. And I know that part of it is part of the game. The game is designed to be like speedrun. So, in fact, when it unlocked arcade mode, I believe it said like arcade mode doesn't have cutscenes, so that it's better for speedrunning. And I was like, nice. I like that. That's cool. Maybe I'll. Yeah. So I'm right. So that did take me to D2, as we see here. I wasn't sure if maybe there would be a chance of that taking me to D4 instead or something. I guess that wouldn't make sense, because then there'd be no way to get to D3. Or D2, I mean. If the other one took me, so like if one took me to D3 and one took me to D4, there'd be no way for me to ever get to D2. That would be a little weird. And then, like, as far as the game itself, like, it runs really well. I haven't had any... I don't think I've had any slowdown that I've noticed or anything like that, so... Oh, weird. Okay, so I guess it's just, like, sort of different paths. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this. I guess like you could take different paths through the whole thing, so you would have to kind of play through and take every possible path before you would just know every time. Because once you've taken a path, the game will always tell you next time what floor it takes you to. So then you don't have to worry. So I guess that's part of it as well, is you'd probably want to experiment with taking different paths. So this is our kind of pseudo final boss here. This is the final boss if you are not fast enough in the earlier part. And again, I'm not totally sure that I understand the combo system. I do find it a little strange that the combo goes off picking up coins rather than landing hits. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think I just don't understand it because it's different. It's definitely different from any other game like this that I've played. But yeah, I mean, overall, my thoughts are pretty positive. I've definitely had a good time with it. You know, I'm not really going into this with like wanting to get a good story out of it. I'm kind of just going into it to kind of hack and slash stuff. So then we fight the other girl. And this is the same with either story, so if we were the girl with the pink hair... sorry, I don't remember their names right now. They are kind of odd names, they're kind of complicated. And then we get the ending cutscene, which I will skip right by, because what I want to do now is show off some of the challenge mode real quick. And the way this works is that we are given... okay, so we've got Lucrezia and Francesca. Those are our girls. So we are given a certain number of enemies and a certain number, like a certain amount of time to defeat them. So, for example, in this one we've got 4 seconds, 4 enemies, and 5 seconds, which isn't too bad, pretty easy. And that's just how these challenges go. And this is where I've probably found the most. It's kind of where I've found the most entertainment so far. Yeah, I gotta remember. I think it was my fault, but my buttons are a little weird. Kind of in like a PlayStation 1 kind of RPG style, where the A button on my Xbox 360 controller actually takes me back in the menus rather than forward. And of course these challenges progress as you would expect, where we are fighting harder and harder enemies as we go on. So, you know, they do definitely get harder. But I think that is probably a pretty good overview of the game in general. So like I said, you know, I think it's pretty good. I've had a good time with it. And if you are into these kind of games, and especially if you are into score attack, I definitely think this is going to be right up your alley. Definitely something you should check out. And like I said, just follow the link below to check that out for yourself. So, as always, feel free to comment if there's anything that you would like to comment about. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos every single day, and if you liked my video on Croixleur Sigma, then please do consider clicking the like button, because that helps me out a lot, and I definitely appreciate everything you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.